Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Ways and Means Committee meeting to order, please, for September 11. If you would please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stockin.
Present.
Mr. Fanton. Mrs. Burdick. Here. Mr. Demick.
Here.
Mr. Havey.
Here.
Mr. Healy.
Here.
Mr. Ricky.
Here.
Mrs. Root. Here. And Mr. Harris. 7 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. We need approval of the agenda, please.
Demick will move that.
Helio, second.
Questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And that's passed. Approval of the minutes of August 13, please.
Ricky, move.
Root will second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And that's carried. And the minutes of August 20, please.
Havey will move that.
Vertical second.
Are there questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And they are passed. Approval of the audit. It was distributed to you on your desk and by email.
Root will make a motion.
Helio, second.
Are there any questions about any of the audit items? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And that is passed. Thank you. This time, we'll ask our attorney to come and speak to us about the opioid settlement agreements. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I'm here to request a resolution to approve an opioid settlement agreement with a list of small manufacturers and to authorize the chairman of the board to execute all necessary documents to receive the settlement payments, including the participation agreements. The fiscal impact, we do not yet know. We do not know how much money we'll be receiving from these various manufacturers. If you would like more information, we could go into a brief executive session.
Helio, move it.
Havey will second.
This is, Mr. Chairman, this is a class action, we're part of a class action settlement, is that correct?
Yes,
Part of
that
the
is-
reason we don't know how much we're going to receive.
Yes, that is correct, Legislator Healy.
So, but it's all good for the county.
That is correct.
Thank you.
We also do not know if there is any restrictions on the use of the funding at this time either.
Thank you.
Other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And that's carried. We have 2 resolutions coming up here, and Mr. Harris is going to speak to them.
Do you want to get them up for consideration first?
We're requested to, a resolution
move it.
to support. Okay. This one's on Langworthy
Thank you.
Energy Choice. Is there support?
Root will second.
Okay. Discussion, Mr. Harris?
Thank you. This is a request coming from the Congressman's office to demonstrate our support of a House bill that he has authored and is sponsoring related to disallowing states from barring individuals, businesses, and municipal entities from utilizing the power of their choice, I guess. So, as you know, the state's on the verge of denying people the ability to use fossil fuels such as natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, wood, and so forth. This would prohibit states from hindering people from making their own decisions on their energy choices, and I think we should support it.
Is there discussion?
I just like to say I agree with Mr. Harris, and I'm sure we're all going to support this. I don't think this just defies the state's trying to do away with these other forms of energy. It just defies common sense to make all the way around, no matter how you look at it, financially or through practical uses of the energy sources. And they don't even realize how much firewood they buy indirectly through their heat program, and how many people actually, especially the elderly, utilize that and other forms of heat that will be affected by this. The prices would go up for electric, and probably for those that remain as gas customers, it would probably also go up there too. Thank you.
Thank you. My feelings exactly. Anyone else? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. We have a resolution here of, what's the next one here? Of the support of the Senate bill. Something doesn't make sense to me, but that's okay. It's calling members of New York State Senate and Assembly to support legislation that would authorize local governments to opt out of mandates and benchmarks established under the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. Support the passage of this Senate bill. Mr. Harris?
Healy will move that also.
Thank you.
Avia will second.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yep, the title says it all. There's a Senate bill that's been proposed that would allow municipalities to opt out of the portions of the CLCPA that would require us to use all electric heating and cooling in our construction. We know firsthand from this, and we're experiencing it right now with the proposed new DPW facility that would be I guess prohibitive is maybe an understatement, almost impossible for us to be able to afford to build and maintain and heat and cool a facility like that on all electric. So I'm in favor of this bill, and I hope the committee is as well.
Any further comments? All in favor? Opposed? And that is passed. Thank you, Mr. Harris. We have referrals from committees now. Public Works, please.
County Superintendent of Public Works Thomas Windus is requesting permission to fill one full-time janitor position in the Department of Public Works pending approval to create the position at the board meeting this afternoon. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be between $37,879 and $44,690, with annual benefits estimated to be between $15,898 and $18,756. This position is funded with 100% county funds and is included in the 2025 budget, and I'll move that.
Rick, you second.
Any questions, discussion? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman. So is this due to promotion internally?
I don't think so.
Okay, just a vacancy for other reasons?
I believe this is required for the jail. They believe they are required to have an additional staff member out at the jail for other reasons out there due to the nature of their work and their certifications.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it says later they're expecting approval to create the position. So, other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's passed.
Mr. Windus is requesting permission to fill one full-time heavy motor equipment operator, one position, and all subsequent backfills in the Department of Public Works. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be between $43,692 and $52,661, with annual benefits estimated to be between $18,337 and $22,101. This position is 100% funded by county funds and is included in the 2025 budget, and I'll move that.
Healy will second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Personnel Committee, please.
County Administrator Krista Knapp's requesting permission to fill one full-time temporary Director of Veteran Services position in the Department of Veteran Services. The annual salary of this position is estimated between $66,000 and $96,000, with annual benefits between $27,000 and $40,000. Position is funded with 100% county funds, and I will move that.
Healy will second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Public safety, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. District Attorney Ian Jones is requesting permission to fill 2 full-time district attorney positions, and those were created in the August 27th, 2025 board meeting. The annual salary of these positions is estimated between $70,000 and $100,000 with benefits between $29,000 and $42,000. These positions are funded 100% with county funds, and I will move that.
Demick will second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Human Services, please.
Director of Office for the Aging, Anita Madison, is requesting permission to fill 5 Meals on Wheels driver positions in the Office for the Aging, pending approval to create the positions at the board meeting this afternoon. The annual salary of each position is estimated to be between $13,500 with annual benefits estimated to be $3,105. These positions are funded with 10% county, 70% state, and 20% federal funds and are included in the 2025 budget, and I will move that.
Root will second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you.
Ms. Madison is requesting permission to fill 3 grounds worker positions in the Office for the Aging, pending approval to create the positions at the board meeting this afternoon. The annual salary of each position is estimated to be between $37,879 and $44,690 with benefits. These positions are funded with 100% state funds and are included in the 2025 budget, and I will move that.
Havey will second.
Discussion?
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
So these positions currently are slated to be funded with 100% state funds, so I'm going to vote for this. But if the funding should go away, then I assume that we'll be taking a close look at eliminating these positions.
I don't believe that that's the way it's going to be currently structured. That would be something you would have to remember to do and look at in the budget each year. You do have the option of asking for that language to be included in the resolution that creates the position. That's something that I know Mr. Shaw has done on a regular basis in Department of Health. But sometimes you do it for some positions, sometimes you don't. Depends on the board's
Well,
thoughts.
since there's 3 positions, especially since there's 3 positions, I would suggest we amend it to be so stated.
So the amendment would be if the money goes away, the position goes away.
Correct.
Is there a second?
Root will second that.
Any discussion on the amendment?
I just want to question the fact that possibly there would be other funding to cover those positions. So I don't know that you'd want to totally eliminate them if the state funds, because if you've got money from some other grant or something that might cover it, then you've eliminated the position. So I don't know that we really want to eliminate positions if there's possibly another way to fund them.
Other comments?
Sir,
Yes.
in the back here.
Mr. Harris?
I'm just curious about how that actually works. If you put language like that in a resolution, are you expecting that the department head would self-report a loss of the funding? Because otherwise, we would never know that, and I can't recall off the top of my head a time where a department head has done that, because grants come and go so frequently. I don't know. That's just out of curiosity kind of question.
Well, didn't this happen in the health department, like COVID and stuff? There was extra money, there were positions, and then when the money stopped, those went away.
Correct, and Mr. Shaw did self-report that. You've had it other times where we have forgotten it and come across it later. There are some times where the positions are budgeted differently depending on grants too. So they have, some budgets are broken down more specific by grants where that might help trigger it in the budget process too. Or that could just be a question we annually ask our department heads, is whether or not they continue to have grant funding for positions. You might put it in public defender too for some of the ILS money.
Well, budget committee and everybody related to the budget, to performing tasks related to the budget, certainly ought to be aware of it when it happens, I would think.
Any other comments? on
Really
the
depends
matter?
on how their budget's set up.
I guess maybe the wording, instead of eliminating the positions, would be the positions will not be filled if the funding goes away. Because then, if you get funding, you've got to recreate the positions all over again and go through, where if you keep the positions and just, it's understood they will not be filled if the funding's gone away, rather than have to recreate them again.
That would probably be more helpful.
So it's just a change of terminology is what you're talking about, Jan?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say you want to eliminate the positions. I would just say that if the funding goes away, the positions will not be filled.
Yeah.
There you go, yes, I agree with that. So if, that'd be my amendment, with reading it as stated by Mrs. Burdick, or with the second.
And I would second that also, since I seconded it before. And then just since I'm, do we not keep track of our grants and when they run out? Do we have any spreadsheet anywhere administratively where we know what grants?
Each department keeps track of their own grants. We obviously keep track of the funding, and they're claimed through us, and we book the claiming, and we book the receipt of the money, but each department is responsible for their own grants that they apply for and that they administer. They do need upper-level administration signatures, like Brooke signs or whoever signs, but for the most part, it's all up to the department to monitor their grant, and if they are sufficiently meeting the qualifications and requirements of the grants to be able to get the reimbursement, but they are tracked.
I don't think we track any of the ongoing expenses that could occur after the grant is over with. I don't think we really have any way to monitor, other than do other budget lines go up after the grant is over with. But there's nothing really in the budget process to trigger that review.
Most grants, for the most part, have a specific cost center. So when that grant is gone, you won't see any revenue in that grant, and therefore you shouldn't see any expenses. If they get other funding, then you will see it, but.
Mr. Bissett?
Thank you, Chairman. I guess what concerns me a little bit is hearing the self-reporting of the director of the department to make sure the positions would go away or be looked at, with their budget. Wouldn't that be the expectation of us to the directors, that they manage those? Would be my question.
I think that's,
I mean, for them to just disregard how this is worded, and then those positions stay after the funding, I guess is what I'm hearing, it could happen. There shouldn't be an expectation from us for that to happen.
I think the department heads are very aware of their funding and what positions, at least my experience with anybody I've worked with, and I think that they know ahead of time that we're not going to get funding for that, so we can't fill that position, and they would account for that in their next budget. And I'm sure Terry's would be aware of that and would look at that too and say, no, you're not getting funding for that.
Terry won't be here.
Well, that's true. That's true. But my other concern is if we start going down that thinking, is that whenever, a lot of our positions are not 100% funded by the county or the state. A lot of them are like 50, 30 or whatever. So are we going to say that, okay, if your 30% of state funding goes away, I mean, we know that if that happens, the department head has to figure out how they're going to fund the balance of it. But are we going to put that in every resolution now that we're filling? That if any of your funding goes away, you can't fill it? I mean, isn't that kind of, I don't know.
I can tell you that the department has a form that they fill out about applying for funding, applying for a grant. On that form, at the very bottom of it, it says, any county obligation if funding is gone. At that point in time, that's where the department could be saying, position would have to be funded, or this would have to be funded. If they're not filling that out and the grant would not pay for the position again. That's where they should be filling it out. So when you look at those MOEs to apply for a grant, you should be getting all that information from the department. So if that's not filled out, that might be some question that you wanna portray back to the department heads that they need to have that. What is the obligation if this funding goes away? So that's been in place for many years. I think sometimes it's lapsed, whether people fill it out or not, but, that's up to the department to fill out.
It shows up on the resolutions many times, so no obligation when the money's over.
Just for the record, these three positions did exist. They were just under a different title. So it's not like we just created them out of thin air to throw three more people over there.
Correct. You eliminated some titles and filled these, although I think they were, part-timers, not full-timers.
Other comments?
Just one last thought, Mr. Chair, and then I'll let it go. I can foresee instances, it's probably likely actually, where a position and maybe this isn't the case here, position gets created through grant funding runs out, but it's up to a future board to determine whether or not to remove people from those positions. I think it should be the obligation of the department head to come to the board and say, okay, now it needs to be funded this way, whether it's through, a different grant or through a combination of grant and local share or whatever. But I don't think there should be any language within this, create and fill that says that it automatically defaults to removing the people from the positions if the grant funding runs out. I just think that might be a little bit too restrictive. But maybe I'm wrong. I defer to the administrator on that one.
I think the sentiment is good. I think having the budgetary controls is a great idea. I think in practice, it does get a little fuzzy. And the last thing you want is inconsistencies, especially when it comes to your personnel and your staff. You're hiring people, they need to have expectations of what happens being hired with a fuzzy resolution language that maybe is applied to some departments and maybe not to others, really muddies the water more. And again, I agree with the sentiment, but maybe you want a different sort of budgetary control. Maybe you want annually in the budget process to look at this. Maybe you want the grant applications to give you more information. Maybe those are better ways than going forward with this specific piece of language.
Other comments? We still have the amendment before us. You ready to vote on the amendment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? I assume quietness is acquiescence.
We think back here you might need one more vote, because that was the vote of the amendment, and we think you need the vote for the motion as a whole.
Okay, then the amendment passes. We have a vote, or any more comment on the original motion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And that's carried.
Ms. Madison is requesting permission to fill one full-time typist position in the Office for the Aging, pending approval to create the position at the board meeting this afternoon. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be between $33,500 and $38,500 with annual benefits. This position is funded with 20% county, 50% state, 15% federal, and 15% other funds, and is included in the 2025 budget, and I will move that.
Demick will second it.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. That's all the referrals that I have. Is there any unfinished business? Any new business? Good of the order.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would like to announce a legislators caucus in the DPW conference room, and because we have a couple of things to discuss, I'd like to call that for directly after this meeting. Thank you.
Anything else for good of the order? Have a motion to adjourn?
Demick will move.
Havel, second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We